You hear that sound right there? That chicken. You hear that? That bop, 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 bop. Now that's actually a rooster, but hens will do the same thing. Let me give you a tip. The reason why he is doing that is because his hen is trying to lay eggs. And that's why he's doing it. They'll also do it for a couple other reasons too. Like if they're startled, you're trying to grab them or something like that. But when you hear chickens doing that, most of the time it's because the hen is trying to lay eggs. And that, I don't know exactly what the rooster's saying to them, but that's what it is. Check out this old clariot. Madigan Claret, wine red, black spur. Oh, real deal. Love them clarets, man. Love them clarets. Love them clarets. I remember, tell y'all a little story right fast. When I was a little boy, you know, when I was young, my grandpa that had chickens. See, my grandma and grandpa had chickens. You already know the story. But, they had chickens, but my grandpa passed away whenever I was a little boy. My grandma kept the chickens going. Well, my grandpa was really heavy into chickens, and that's back when it was legal. You know, I mean, not legal everywhere, but there was still, you know, pits open. And so my grandpa used to travel, and once he got big enough around here, he would still show locally, but he would go to the big pits. But anyways, when I was growing up, my grandma, she still had the clarets, and I still have that one picture I'll post every now and again of a brood pair of clarets that my grandmother had. She no longer has chickens anymore. She just got too old to care for them like that. And so they had them Madigans for a long time, and I met a guy. He was actually my neighbor. It's so crazy how it worked out. He was actually my neighbor, and I remember this egg just busted and I'm trying to cover it up. Well, he was actually my neighbor, and one time I was talking to him. This is back when my grandma still had quite a few chickens, and it was probably probably around 2011. And I was telling my neighbor, because he had chickens, and he had chickens all his life, but you know how a lot of people go through it too, where they'll run into something, work, a divorce, or got to move, landlord fussing at them. They have to get rid of the chickens, but they always love chickens, so they'll bounce back and forth in. And well, once he found out, you know, who my grandparents were and stuff, he was like, man, he said, I sure miss your grandpa, man. He was a good chicken man, blah, blah, blah. But he told me, he said, your grandma still got said, your grandma still got those clarets? I said, yeah, she still got some. He said, she sell any of them? I said, yeah, at times she will. Then my grandpa really didn't trade chickens. He really didn't sell chickens. He would trade some, you know, to his buddies, because he was always focused on creating the best game bird. Because like I said, he showed like heavy. He showed heavy. And he said, you still got those clarets? I said, yes, she still got them. He said, man, I'll tell you what. He said, and I'm not trying to, you know, pull your strings or anything like that. He said, your grandpa, he said, them clarets, he said, I don't know if they were pure, if they were crossed, or what. He said, but them clarets, he said they was tough. And he would win. No lie, he said he would win 8 out of 10 derbies that he competed in. Because like I said, that's back when them boys was young. You know, they was in their 20s, showing real hard, you know. He said, man, he would win 8 out of 10 derbies. He said, this is no lie. He said, after so many years, and this is when, remember I just told you a while ago, how when my grandpa, he showed around here for years, but then he started venturing out. Well, he didn't really venture out by choice. He ventured out because he had to. Because I've heard this from another person as well. That my grandpa, he would come up and people would watch him. This is back before cell phones and everything. People would watch him. And whenever they came out to drop the roosters out and stuff, you know, everybody, this is before the derby started, and people was dropping the roosters out, getting them ready. People would watch him and look at him and see what he was bringing. And if he was bringing those clarets, people would actually pack up and leave. No lie. People would actually pack up and leave. And I do say it was probably, not saying there wasn't good chickens back then, but I don't really know if people near here. Now, I know a good few rooster men like Todd. Todd and my grandpa actually flew to California to get the little mountaintop blues that, you know, went around this area for years. That's actually, you know, part of the blues I got. But he said people would pack up and leave. And what happened was, after that happened so many times, my grandpa just felt like it wasn't worth it. You know, it wasn't worth it to do all that work, go to the derby just for, now I'm not saying everybody would leave, but like people would actually leave. So you go to a derby, you imagine you get everything ready, go to a derby. You get to that derby, you got 15, 20 entries. Right, just say you got 15 entries. Well, you got 15 entries, and you got 15 entries. If 5 people pack up and leave, you got 10 entries. Now, not saying, you know, that's how it was every time, but you can see how a person will get frustrated with that. And that's when my grandfather started actually going. He started venturing out and going to the bigger places because he honestly just got tired of it, you know. He got tired of going there, and then so he started going to the places where he knew he could get some action, you know. So I just felt like I'd tell y'all that little story right there. Story time, you know. Checking out these chickens, these hens. Well, all right, guys, I'll be back at you, man. I got a little work to do. Like and subscribe. Go to our website. Appreciate everybody that's been buying from us already. The GameefowLife.com. It'll be below in the description. And copy some of that exclusive Gamefowl merch, man. Trust me, you won't find it anywhere else. Peace.